Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another amazing home video. You guys have not seen me sitting in this space for a little bit of a while, and as you see by the title today, you get to see what I actually have in my cart across the board and what you have looking forward to when it comes to me designing and styling my space. Now, we have been here just at 2 years now, and honestly I have been enjoying putting things together and making a space that feel like home, but there are a few things missing, a few pieces missing that I definitely want to take care of. Now, to be fair, if you are new here, even if you're not new here and you don't know, we are a military family, so we do move quite frequently, basically every 3 years, and sometimes it can be sooner. So I definitely want to make sure I am being strategic when it comes to my space and what I'm actually adding, okay? So we're not wasting any time today. We're gonna go ahead and get straight into today's video. Now, starting off incredibly strong, you guys know I always tell you when it comes to your home and when it comes to your space to always have a theme, because a theme is going to save you from the heartache of looking for everything that doesn't actually fit and match your space, okay? If it's traditional, if it's modern, if it's farmhouse, even if it's a mix of all, you just want to make sure everything is cohesive and flowing together incredibly well. Now, starting downstairs in our living room, I love that space. Although it is a small space, I have to very much make sense of it. So there's about 3 things I want to do down there to kind of like just finish off that space. Starting off small is adding some curtains. You guys know I do not have curtains in my living room, and I feel like curtains make a space feel very cozy. Now, because there's only 2 windows, and again the space is only small, I'm gonna go towards having some sheer curtains so that way the natural light still can come into the room and the space can still feel a very much decent size. Having blackout curtains wouldn't do anything for that space but make it darker, and that is the opposite of what I'm trying to do here. So if you have a space, especially a smaller space, and you have a window but you want to put curtains there, I would suggest going with something sheer, or maybe going with something that you can, like Roman shades that you can roll and pull up, so that way you are still able to take advantage of that natural light in that space. Now, because it's only 2 windows, I don't have to spend much money on them, so there is that. In the living room, I've always talked about when you have rugs in your living room, make sure you have multiple so that way you can interchangeably, throughout the seasons, change them. I have had that in the past, but recently, honestly, I haven't just been gravitating, and I haven't really been seeing any rugs. And let's be honest, rugs are not always your cheapest thing to buy, especially when rugs can go from $3,000, $4,000, $1,000 on up, especially if it's a much larger space. Now, this space compared to my last space, I had 11 by 15 rugs, so you can imagine how big the living room actually was. This space, I only have an 8 by 10, which basically pretty much covers the entire floor space, if I'm being honest. But I still love when the rug is covering everything from underneath the tables to the, if you have accent chairs, as well as your sofa. Everything needs to be touching on that rug. So I do want to upgrade to having something more abstract, pulling away from the darker colors, especially coming into those spring and summer months. You just want something lighter, which is going to help brighten that room, and that's something I want to do for my space. And yeah, now lastly, because I just recently, you guys know, within the last 6, 7, 8 months, I did purchase a new coffee table. So in that area, I am completely fine. But I do, and I would love to have a new sectional, because considering moving from place to place, things get damaged all the time. And that is something that I'm also considering, if that's going to be something I do now or something I do on the back end when we move into a new place. And you guys get to see me once again style a place from top to bottom. I'll be using some of the things that I currently have, and I will obviously be having some new things, because who doesn't love new? I think we all do. So I would love to actually have a much larger sectional. The sectional I have now is very, it's small and it's quaint. Obviously it fits the space, but I kind of want to get into something darker, which also means I have to have a larger living room as well. I've had the sofa and the love seat combo, but depending on your space, sometimes I feel like you can either take away from it or either give love to it. And in my particular space, I mean, honestly, if I decide to do something like that, each piece will have to be incredibly small. So sticking with a sectional is something I would love to do. I would love to go into maybe having something that's like a brown or pretty brown sectional, kind of staying away from black. But at the end of the day, obviously mine's right now is cream, and if I was to gravitate towards another cream sofa sectional, it has to make sense because it is a high traffic area for me, considering I have 2 smaller children. I also have a pet. Now thank God he's only 4 pounds. He does not shed hair, so I don't really have to worry about the pet area, but I do have to understand that it is a high traffic area, and that is just that. Now, coming out of the living room, honestly, I think pretty much that would just set off basically what I want to do with my space. Now, if I'm being honest, I would love to go into having some more timeless pieces. And what I mean by that is basically, I want those showstopper pieces when people come into my home. And I'm not saying my home isn't nice. You guys get to see things around my home all the time. But what I am saying is that maybe 7 or 8 years ago, when mirror was a heavy trend, and I still believe mirror is in style as long as you do it right, tastefully right. When mirror was a heavy trend, that mirror was a showstopper piece, and I had my mirrored entryway, I had my mirrored nightstands, and everything just looked so good. But I feel like now I kind of want to upgrade something more modern and classic for the space. I love the cabinets that are arched and they have the front glass doors. I think those are incredibly gorgeous. I love anything fluted. I think it's incredibly gorgeous. I also want real wood, and you guys already know real wood costs a lot of money. Indeed it does. So with that being said, having pieces that are just like my showstopper pieces are something I'm definitely more getting into. In my entryway now, you guys know I have the mirror stand with the mirrors mounted above it, and it's gorgeous. It's very pretty. I always get compliments on it. I'm not saying I don't, but if I'm being honest, you don't know because I'm telling you now, you do know, but it is actually broke. And I've had it for 8 years now, so I think it's time to kind of like upgrade and get something different. I feel like 8 years is a very long time to, one, get my money's worth and to move on to something else. So having a showstopper piece at my entryway, having another showstopper piece, whether it's a bookcase and it's a very gorgeous, that is what I am kind of moving towards having. So sometimes those pieces, they do cost a little bit more, but that's why I tend to kind of like save money in certain areas, so that way when I go to splurge on something, I don't necessarily feel, you know, bad about it. Now, I am going to be completely honest. I am very aware of the current state of the economy. Okay, I'm very aware. It is not in a good place. It has not been in a good place for a while. So which is why I try and bring to you, I do bring to you things that are affordable, because even if you're not looking for something right now, you could be looking for something down the line. You have that option. You have these videos that you can come back to. If something is out of stock, most of the time it's going to give you something similar that you can take a look at. So I will always be able to do that. I make my husband laugh when I tell him, like, even in our days where we are millionaires, I am still going to be shopping at the same stores because I can still find quality in those stores that are inexpensive. I can find good pieces. I've had pieces that I've paid next to nothing for, and it lasts an incredibly long time. And I've had pieces I paid good money for, and you see where this conversation going. So I am not oblivious to things that are going on, but I also want you to know that I am there with you when it comes to having a budget and spending money on things that you want to spend on, like splurging where you want to splurge and scaling back where you want to scale. And I'm here to show you how even in home pieces, you can spend the tens and 20s and $30,000 if you desire to do so. That's completely up to you, but you don't have to take that option. You can take another option to find something just as similar, something of great quality, and a lot of times they come from the same place, the same manufacturer. And I hate to be the person to tell you that, but a lot of times that is true. We all know that. So Yeah, now back to the matter at hand. Now once I have like those statement pieces, I feel like that is really like the icing on the cake for me. And like even in my bedroom, I would love to upgrade and have more of a statement bed. I want my bed, I would love to have something that goes, the headboard goes up to the ceiling. You walk into the room and the bed on top of gorgeous bedding, it is a showstopper. It is a statement piece, and I would love to have that. Now right now, what I get a lot of compliments on is the bedding itself and the mirrors on above my nightstands, as well as the nightstands. And I tell people all the time, I got these mirrors from somewhere you would not expect it, for about 30-40 bucks a piece, and the nightstands came from Amazon at just under $150 each, and they're great quality and they do exactly what they need to do. And these are the things that I'm hoping to have for a long period of time. This is something I would love to transcend into the future and have, especially if I have a guest bedroom. Walking into a guest bedroom in someone's house and it looks like this, I'm ready to stay, okay? I'm ready to stay for a good bit of time. And lastly, when it comes to my bedroom, some of the things that I really don't take into consideration sometimes is the things that you really don't see to the eye, but then again, when I point it out, you realize it's missing. I have nothing above my headboard, so I want to invest in some quality art. Again, this is where the lines kind of get blurred. Do I get something inexpensive from Ross, or do I go to a little bit more of a budget like Home Goods, or do I invest in something more? Considering this isn't our forever home, for me, I'll probably stick somewhere in the middle and go from there. Sometimes the only thing about purchasing from Ross and Home Goods and things like that is that sometimes they tend to go out of style, and when you invest a little bit more into quality pieces, especially quality artwork, it just withstands the test of time. And that's something I'm definitely looking forward to basically kind of just pulling myself into, but having some beautiful art above the bed. And I know I can even go as simple as having something like pictures in very beautiful frames. That's an option as well, but I want you guys to do that thing along with me. Y'all need to tell me also some places that I probably wouldn't anticipate shopping and finding some really nice pieces. I've seen people find pieces like home decor pieces from like World Market. I've never been. So if I need to go, y'all need to let me know in the comments. Girl, yes, go. Please go. Okay? And then sometimes I want to switch up the styling on my bedding, which you guys do get the option of seeing me switch up styling when it comes to my bed. I change pillows and stuff like that, but sometimes I want to switch up the arrangement. Not particularly the bedding itself, but the arrangement. As in now, you see I have like the 3 pillows and the 2 pillows and then the one basically lumbar pillow. Sometimes I want to take the lumbar pillow out and then do something different. So I think that that's definitely what I want to gravitate towards, especially this year, because I keep it very simple. I don't gravitate too far away from what my norm is, because if it's not broke, don't fix it. Okay, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to like my bedroom. Now everywhere else in the home is pretty much as is. I really don't have much of changing anything. The only thing I feel like that gets changed out from season to season, especially like you're outside of your home, but that's another area, that's another budget in itself. But for the most part, I feel like we have touched the basis of making sure that everything in my home, it kind of flows. So anything at this point, it just accessorizes what I have, and that's what I want it to become for your space, for it to be an accessory to what you have. So going in and adding, you know, statement pieces when it comes to furniture at this point is just adding on to what you already have in your space, and it looks incredibly well. Well guys, that is it. That is all that I have for you today. I wanted to hop on here really quick and kind of just to show you guys what I'm actually looking for, what I'm actually eyeing, and how I'm actually planning on just taking up my space just up a notch from what it already is. Being able to do it budget friendly. Sometimes I spend the top dollar and I show you guys inexpensive options, because who doesn't want the inexpensive option? But sometimes I am the person, not sometimes, majority of the times I am the person buying the inexpensive option. So you can see that there is a way of having the best of both worlds. There's a way of having a very gorgeous bedroom and not having to spend much. There's a way of having a very gorgeous living room, dining room, kitchen, and not having to spend as much. There is a way. And wait until we get into our thrift finds. Wait until we get into repurposing furniture. I am super excited about that. As a matter of fact, I have a table downstairs in our garage that I need to repurpose, and I want to do it on camera with you guys so you can see how, even if you purchase something from you know, your local Goodwill, how you can repurpose it and it looks brand new. It looks like something completely different. But that is it. But guys, until next time, until next video, I need to hear your comments down below, and I will see you guys later. Bye.